I've been placed in charge of a new chronic care 30-bed unit, and it will be multidisciplinary. It will help alleviate the number of patients awaiting placement within our facility, as well as we will be taking patients from a chronic care facility that is closing.
Okay, and so what do you need from our decision support team?
I'll need help setting up a budget, staffing, estimating the impact on existing hospital resources, and developing performance indicators.
Sounds good. We can definitely do that for you.
I'd like to meet with your decision support team to discuss all the information needs for this project.
I'll set that up right away. So I called this meeting today to discuss what the Director of General Medicine Program has asked us as the decision support team to come up with. They're looking for us to help them come up with a budget, look at their staffing, equipment, estimating the impact that this new chronic care facility is going to have on their existing hospital care units, and also to develop performance indicators. What we need to do is come up with initial questions about how setting up this new chronic care facility is going to impact the existing hospital. So what we need to discuss right now are the questions that arise with implementing a new chronic care facility unit within an existing hospital.
Okay, so let's discuss what questions that need to be addressed. So like, how's the budget and equipment and staffing for implementing the new chronic care?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we need to find out the cost of resources per patient and the impact on the resources that we currently have.
Also, we will look at the readmission rate. We will look at the admission rate. Also, we will discuss how many patients will come from the other facility. So how that's going to impact with current waiting time period.
Okay, let's write this all down and give it to the director. So we've created some questions that regard the budget, such as how will the budget increase for this new unit? How is the implementation of the 30 new beds going to affect the current budget? Does this budget include equipment, staffing, and additional resources? And where will they obtain the money in order to provide new hospital beds?
The other question includes what is the impact on the resources that we have, cost of resources per patient, how many patients will be admitted, are the beds going to be enough because there will be some patients coming from the chronic care facility that is closing. Are the wait time going to be increased due to the number of patients being admitted? We have to look at the readmission rates as well as the admission rate.
Okay, so more questions are alternate level care patients going to increase wait times? How many patients are coming from the closing facility? How many chronic care patients are waiting for the new beds? And then how many patients within our facility will need to be transferred to a new chronic care unit, and what are the goals and plans for this organization?
Good job, decision support team. Those are some excellent questions that definitely need to be addressed before coming up with an implementation plan. So let's review the information that my decision support team came up with.
Using tools such as KPI survey, CVC, control chart, run chart, scatter diagram, flow chart or process map, HIT tool, as well as external benchmarking, we can provide data to medical program director. Key performance indicator survey will be initiated and distributed in order to understand what patients think about organization and the quality of care. Through the assessment of patient completed KPI, we can realize what kind of improvement in terms of effectiveness need to be made. Through the assessment of employee based on KPI, we can realize what kind of improvement in terms of efficiency need to be made. Clinical Value Compass is a tool to measure value of service from a variety of perspectives. Value is a function of cost and satisfaction. The cost you are willing to pay means you like the service you are getting. Previous control chart, run chart, and scatter diagram can be used to determine how the organization has been functioning in last month or a year. This will help us improve in giving quality care and efficiency. Because we are implementing 30-bed chronic care unit for our hospital, workflow is bound to overlap. In order to reduce redundant work, we should use flowcharts and a process map to eliminate it. This will save employee time to do other critical jobs and reduce unnecessary paperwork. HIT tool can be used with an organization that has been through merging or offers the same basic care. This comparison will allow us to see how well organizations are doing. This comparison will tell us what we still need to improve in. The HIT tool also allowed us to benchmark. Finally, using external benchmarking, which involves analyzing outside organizations that are known to be the best in class. External benchmarking provides the opportunity of learning from those who are at the leading edge. This type of benchmarking can take up significant time and resources to ensure the comparability of data and information. We can use sources of data such as database to extract information. Readmission rate can be found in Datanecker database. Financial detail can be found in the OHRS database, which is Ontario version of MIS. ALOS and wait time can be found in Datanecker as well. ALOS in DATS and wait time in Neckers through proxy value of when they had entered to the time they have been accessed by a physician. UPP benefit hour can also be found in the OHRS of an organization.
These are the information we need initially in order to establish this new unit. So we need to find out the budget requirements, the costs of medical technological instruments, drugs, specialized treatments, requirements for high demand patients, staffing and administrative costs. We also need to gather information from the following databases. So the Management Information System, Workload Measurement System, Continuing Care Reporting System, and Case Mix Group Plus to see what kind of patients we will be dealing with. Comparisons of hospitals will also allow us to benchmark and see if we're offering the same or very similar services. Information received from the HIT tool will also be necessary. Once the unit is established, we need to monitor performance on an ongoing basis through the data received and information from the evaluations done on clinical performance. Following are information we would be receiving on an ongoing basis once the unit is established. We also must evaluate on an ongoing basis the clinical treatment we provide, customer and/or family and employee satisfaction from the care we're providing, the psychological, social, and physical abilities of the patient, how the resources are being utilized in terms of costs, information on the impact of the new services within the clinic, and observe problems and fix them right away.
Now I will go over our balanced scorecard. For the first quadrant, customer, we wish to increase customer satisfaction. This data is collected through optional customer surveys and is analyzed on a quarterly basis. This new unit will ensure that patients get better treatment more tailored to their chronic care needs and decrease wait times, which will ultimately increase customer satisfaction. For the second quadrant, finance, we wish to decrease average length of stay. The average length of stay throughout the facility is analyzed on a quarterly basis. The opening of this new unit will provide more beds to individuals who need chronic care, decreasing the average length of stay for other departments that are currently taking care of these patients, and allowing for faster care to those in need of the chronic care. A shorter length of stay ultimately costs the facility less resources. For the third quadrant, clinical, we wish to decrease unplanned readmission rates. Data on unplanned readmission rates are analyzed on a quarterly basis, looking at readmission rates that are less than 1 week and less than a month. Having a unit specifically for chronic care will increase the proper level of care these individuals are getting, and allow for better planning at the discharge stage. Individuals will be more prepared to return home, decreasing the chance that they will be readmitted unexpectedly. For the final quadrant, innovation and learning, we wish to increase overall employee satisfaction. This data is collected and analyzed through a quarterly survey. Opening a new unit and hiring more staff will help to alleviate workload of other units, increasing employee satisfaction.
Next, we will begin to discuss monthly operational indicators. The purpose of monthly operational indicators is to manage the efficiency and productivity of the organization. An organization can share and review issues with management and staff, debate the opportunities for improvement, and to monitor and assess what will affect the medical program as they implement the new chronic care division. Some indicators we will assess on a monthly basis include admission rate, staffing, equipment, and budget. It is important to monitor a patient admission rate at a hospital because the Institute can analyze, interpret, and create future plans and goals. These plans can include ongoing plans, strategic plans, and contingency plans. In this exhibit, we can see that there are sometimes more than 1,000 patients admitted to the hospital every day. Assuming so, each week there would be roughly 7,000 patients, and for a month, there would be 28,000 patients being admitted. From this graph, we can also see that Saturdays are when patients are most often admitted to a hospital. Data such as this can be used to measure the productivity levels. We must also take into consideration how many of the total patients would be admitted to the chronic care facility. This will allow a hospital to prepare staff and equipment for the incoming patients. Based on the number of patients admitted, the hospital can organize the amount of staff needed on a weekly and evidently a monthly basis. This bar graph depicts the number of staff a medium-sized hospital contains. The total number of staff that they have is 2,060 staff members, where the majority of staff members contains nurses. Since there are an abundant number of nurses, these nurses can be allocated to different sections or regions of the hospital, such as the chronic care facility. Furthermore, a hospital needs to base the money invested and the equipment needed off the amount of patients admitted. Equipment and budget go hand in hand because hospital equipment can be very costly, especially equipment used in chronic care facilities. In this pie graph, drugs and gases are almost equal to salaries and benefits of employees. On top of the medication, there is the addition of medical surgery supplies and other expenses. This gives rise to about 45%. 45% of the budget in a hospital is spent on equipment and drugs. Hospital can use this to estimate the finance involved in maintaining the different subdivisions and determine which area would be invested more than the other areas.
Using a clinical value compass is a great tool. Using this as a whole allows our organization to maintain a perspective on the entire care process our organization is providing. If we're not up to par on these quadrants, changes need to be made to help our organization improve and become better. Using a compass like this as a whole can help us achieve more of our desired outcomes. Functional status looks at how our organization is running. Are we keeping up with the number of patients that need to be seen to? How long are our waiting times for an open bed? Are we spending longer than we should be when seeing to patients? Clinical outcomes dives deeper to look at the results of our organization's performance, such as our medical error rates and mortality rates. Resource utilization deals with costs, how well resources are being used, how fast resources are being consumed. Satisfaction deals with our customer-patient satisfaction, as well as how satisfied our employees working within our organization are.
This is all very useful information. Thank you for coming up with it.
Good job, team.
Champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions.
Ma'am, we'd like to interview you as you were the first patient in our new chronic care facility. How are you liking it?
Great.
So I called this meeting today to discuss what the general. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going. So what we need to do right now is during this meeting is to discuss the initial questions of So what we need to discuss right now is how
So we'll...
Barely not.
Hang on. Are you recording?
I am still recording.
Oh, damn, okay. Okay, so...
Decision support team. Actually, why did I say my? I'm like, oh, you guys. Ready? Good job, decision support team. Those are some excellent questions that definitely need to be addressed before. Why did I look I'm talking and I'm looking out.
This is all very useful information. Thank you for coming up with it.
Good job, team. HIM for the win!